Hello my dears, and welcome back to my corner of the internet. I'm Shannon, and today I have another spoiler-free book review to share with you guys. And today we are talking about Like It Never Was by Faith Gardner. This was the first book I had read from Faith. I know she does have other ones out because I remember seeing on Goodreads people saying like, I'll read anything Faith writes. I love her, so that's great. Maybe you have also read her. And I knew very little about this going in, except what I knew was I loved this cover. It's so beautiful. And I was excited to see what it was about. So let's just get on into it. This book is about a girl named Jolene, which every time I'd see her name when I was reading, the Dolly Parton song would kick in. And I'd have that in my head for a while. And so we get two time periods kind of, then and now. And so then was back like 10 years ago when Jolene was in high school. So the basic premise is, and this is how the book kicks off, 10 years ago when she was in high school, Jolene had a kind of nemesis at school, like this girl she just really did not get along with. Her name's Elizabeth, and Jolene's like, she's weird. And there was one time she claimed that she had been driving home one night and she saw Bigfoot. Like she'd do anything for attention, basically. So Faith gets the idea in her head that, oh, Faith, that's the author. Jolene gets it in her head that like, oh, this girl wants some attention. She wants to see Bigfoot. I'll give that to her. And so she drives out kind of to the middle of nowhere where she knows Elizabeth will be driving that night. She dresses up in a gorilla costume and she jumps out in the street. And what happens then is there's an accident. Elizabeth, luckily, isn't killed in the accident, but she's incredibly disfigured. She has burns all over her body. She loses an eye and she loses a leg. As you can imagine, Jolene carries this guilt with her for the rest of her life, at least until we've seen her, when we're seeing her now 10 years in the future. It's something that she constantly thinks about. And we see that like her whole life, since that night, she struggled with mental illness, anxiety, depression, all kinds of things. And people in her life were always like, maybe you should talk to someone. Because once the accident happens, Jolene runs away. She runs into a woman and she tells the woman there's been an accident, please call 911. But that's kind of it. Jolene takes herself out of the scene and never tells anyone that it was her who had caused it, of course, because how would you even describe what you were doing out there? So now in the future, or in the present, I should say, Jolene's been kind of nomadic for the past 10 years, moving here and there, not able to stick to a job or find a career, nothing like that. She's just very wayward, very lost. She ends up moving to a town in California called Berkeley, and she runs into Elizabeth, the girl from the accident when she was in high school. And from there it kind of becomes this thriller of, does Elizabeth know what happened? Does she not? Is she looking for revenge? And it's a wild ride. I really enjoyed it. I couldn't put it down once I started it. Like, it's a page turner. It's a lot. It's a lot. And it's fast paced. And there are a couple of big twists. I will say, because of the nature of the book and that it is a thriller, you kind of know, you're kind of waiting for those twists. And I was able to I had a pretty good guess on what one of them was, and I was right, which is fine. That doesn't take away from a book too much for me. I like it when an author should be leaving those breadcrumbs so you can kind of put the pieces together, because I really hate when a thriller, and I can think of one author in particular that does this every single time, and it's put me off her books entirely. But there's an author who, she writes these thrillers and then the twist is so out of left field because there's been no build up to it. There's been no little breadcrumbs. And I don't like that. I like it when you're kind of shown it, and you just don't put the pieces together in the moment. But when you're done and you look back, you're like, of course. So yeah, I'm getting a little off track here. I would recommend, if you love a good fast-paced thriller, definitely check this one out. I think I would give it a 3.5 rounded up to 4. And yeah, this one comes out, I believe, July 1st or July 2nd, so not long now. Mark your calendars. But yeah, that's really all I can say without giving too much away. So there you have it. A lot of fun. And I would read more from this author in the future. So the next video that's going to be coming up is a reading vlog where I'm going to be reading You Like It Darker by Stephen King. Love this cover, love that title. So that'll be coming up in the next few days. And yeah, this one's shorter than usual, I know, but it was a fun read. And I think a lot of you will like it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again really soon. Bye!